This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com and GatheringMagic.com, your place to explore the game.
Hey, I'm Preston. We're here at Gen Con 2015, and this is my Jor Kadeen fully miscut and misprinted commander deck. Alright, so we start off with the general, Jor Kadeen. You can see that it is multiple cards showing here. I think it's an artifact down there below. It certainly would be fitting. So that's the general. We're going to go through some up, down, left, and right miscuts right here. So we have Hellkite Igniter, Gamble, Final Fortune. So we're going to try to go on vertical miscuts right here. This Mana Barbs is a nice one. White borders are fun because they can show you a bit more of the border. If it's a black border and a black card, it might not show up as much, but this Mana Barbs is nice. Oh, and I should also say that all of these are backed by giant sharks as well, the whole deck. So. You can see this one is showing 2 cards right here, also a red on the bottom, which is nice. Going to the white, you can see this one is shifted left to right, and that the ink is a little bit off as well, kind of blurry in the name. There's several Mirrored and Besieged that are like this in a row. You can see a little targeting circle up there, and normally that would be cut out. A lot of people think that that looks like a nick or something like that when they pull it out of a pack, but it's a surefire way to tell something that's wrong in terms of the way that it's been cut.
That's why I didn't bring that deck down.
This one not as much, but it is so playable in the deck. So. This one's pretty nice. Definitely desirable, very playable, very miscut. Sometimes you just need a board wipe and just really get some to get it with the miscut day. We've got the multicolors, not as much on this one. The print and cut quality has gotten a lot better lately, with the exception of Modern Masters 2015. Double Cleave with 2 cards showing. This is a particularly fun one right here. This is an end of the sheet right here on the Sunhome. So you can see that it has part of the printing sheet on the bottom there. And on the back, more info as well. So these ones are kind of fun when you come across them. On to the lands. We have a Strip Mine, a little bit off. This is definitely more common back in the day for the older ones, just in terms of alignment. What's nice about these next 2, High Market, is that you know that these are not hand cut, and we'll get into hand cut or NFC in a little bit, but you know they're not like that because so far as we know, they didn't put out sheets of this. So this is an error from the box, from the FTV. And the Windbrisk Heights as well. It's a little bit different of a deck than usual because we're aligning them by the misprints and by the mistakes rather than by their utility. Not too much there, but it's so playable, and it is technically miscut. The Inkmoth. Mirrored and Besieged again, as you'll see, and there's that targeting circle that we were talking about. all my colors here in Boros. This is another 2-carder right there. Got some Sunhome goodness right there. And then this next one, I like the red and white on the bottom. This is a particularly fun one. Here we have another end of sheet on this mountain. Right there. Looks like this on the back. I'm still having fun with this one. I just got this one recently, so every time I draw it, it's a delight. Okay. Artifacts. Moving left to right. This one is barely miscut, but it's such a good card in my deck. And I have the crimp tokens to go with it as well. 4 of them, so. Shimmer Myr. This Icy is showing 2 cards, as you see. Red as well, which is nice. Mana Prism. I cut a Gilded Lotus for this. That was a regular Gilded Lotus. So, you know, these are the sacrifices we make. Mask. Warhammer. Monolith. This is what I was talking about with the white borders. They show up very nicely. Solemn. Golem. And a Sphere. And a Myr. Okay. Those are the up, down, left, right cuts. Let's get into crimps, see if they show up on camera. Start with the top. This is the Tech Edge. And we're going to get more and more crimped as we go. All these ones are at the top. Drifting Meadow. Increasing Devotion. Route is a favorite. Oh, there we go. I think we got it now. Faithless Looting. Got Pentavus with some tokens as well. Let's see if I can show you one end on here. That's what it looks like. Got another FTV error. Glint Hawk for our Metalcraft and Evasion as well, which is nice. Alright, we're going to move to the bottom crimps. Ancient Den. This is a Mirrodin's plane, and you can see there the different crimping texture from a different booster type than the more modern ones. Got an O-ring. Whoa. Here's a Plains. You can see the old revised booster style. These don't show up so well online because it's hard to get scans of them, or pictures don't really do them justice. We're having a little bit of trouble here with the video, but crimps are awesome in person. Got a great texture to them. Reliquary Tower. Right along the bottom. You get these with the promos sometimes, and this one is a little bit diagonal. It's a different sort of a crimp because it comes in those like F&M sort of promo packs. This is a fantastic crimp right here. Take a look at that. All the way through too. Wow. What happened here? I do not know. Okay. These are the corners we're going to look at here. This is the only alpha cut corner. This is 4th edition. And what you'll see, let's compare it to this Razorfoot Griffin. Let's see if this shows up. That is an alpha cut corner. It's a little bit different than the beta and beyond corners. See right there? Small difference. Really gotta point it out to folks, but it's cool. All right, Alright, we got a single square on the Aerois. And this mountain has a double square. Aurelia, just acquired at Gen Con. There's a square with a targeting circle, and a second square. And this Balefire Liege I picked up at Las Vegas, and it has all four corners square. Alright, front of the card errors. We got some smudges going on. Sisei's Ring. This Shimmering Grotto is sort of messed up in the text box, if you can see right there. This mountain has like a highlighter streak all the way through it. Got some smudges here. Augur's Coast. And a Sacred Foundry. This one was one of my first pickups right there. We got the Ravnica smudges. And a famous and somewhat common smudge. You see these mirror entities from time to time, and the sort of smudge or the stain is in different places on the card and at different degrees, different intensities. But this happened to a whole bunch of them. Okay, a couple of other front of card errors. This is like a splotch right here on this black border. And another thing you'll notice is that I'm running Abzan Sky Captain, so I'm making sacrifices for miscuts rather than playability. This is probably one of the ones that'll be replaced soonest. Here's a mountain. It's got a little error right there. This Active Treason, because of the art, can be a little bit difficult to see, but up in the corner there, you can see where it almost looks like a little bit of like a bleach stain or something. This is a somewhat common error on the Alabaster Kieran, and so I get to just make up its power and toughness on the right side there, just sort of all along here, washed out. These are some sort of like, we don't know if these are sun faded. These could just be out in the sun, or they could be a little bit light on the ink. It's very hard to tell. But got the Secluded Step and the price as well. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but these are not the true colors of this. They should be deeper. Another not very playable but very interesting error. This is a foil, and something happened right on the first strike line. Something struck first on this card and just gouged it or something. We were talking about the MM15 errors. Down at the bottom, you'll see that it's sort of blacked out right there. That's the only error on the whole card on this Hearthfire Goblin, Hobgoblin. This is a different type of rarity. This is the Arabian Nights Mountain, which was on the rare sheet. So debatable as to whether it's a misprint or not. You know, it's a mistake, it's an error, it's printed correctly. I think it's cool. This is a new type of error that's been coming up. This is the only one that I've seen, but it's an Aegis Angel where the promo stamp is missing, but it is exactly where it would be if you ran it upside down. And so something happened here. And the holo stamp is up on the name line. Okay, the next two cards are NFC, or not factory cut, or hand cut. Just want to talk about those real quick. What somebody did is they took a sheet, in this case of foil Modern Masters, and using machinery and skill and experience, they cut those cards out. They retained the name of the card and the mana symbol so that they'd still be playable. And you can identify this because it's a little bit too perfect. It's got the targeting circle in there, it's got the name and the mana cost, it's a playable card. Debatable as to whether or not this is okay. I'm fine with it myself. But some people are a little bit against it because it destroys a sheet, which itself is a rarity. And this one is pretty obviously that another issue that you have with this particular land is that it's a little bit curved, so the sheet wasn't flattened fully, and it's about a millimeter too thin or two on the side here. So this actually would not be technically playable. You could probably get away with it. This is EDH. It's, you know, sleeved and backed and perfect fitted, so it's fine, but not as good of a cutting job on this and so it's noticeably thin. If it were unsleeved, you'd be able to tell. Still really cool. This is my plateau in the deck. Okay, last few ones. These ones are sort of double printed a little bit. You can see a shadow there. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. Battlefield Forge. Kind of blurry. Here's a Plains. And a mountain. Kind of tripping out a little bit. Alright, back of card errors. This is part of a run, and you can see a little line right there. This Mana Vault is a little bit too dark on the back. If you deal with a lot of cards, you can tell the darkness, but just for as a contrast. You can see. This Alloy Myr is fine on the front, but on the back it's off. These next two are cool. This is a German Darksteel ingot with a splotch. This Lightning Greaves I just picked up at Gen Con with an even bigger splotch. This Sunlance, another Modern Masters 2015 that I picked up at the GP in Vegas. Got a nice albino splotch. And my pride and joy, and the one that really flips people out, the final card we're going to show you today, upside down back. Look at that. So what you do when you're showing these off online is you take a photo in the mirror so that you can see both parts of the card at the same time so people actually believe you. And that's the deck. Alright, and we're back for a little bonus content. These are the tokens. Okay, this one's really cool because it is Soldier, and there's a bald spot right over the O. Look at that. All the rest are crimps. More common to see crimp sort of issues. So we'll start with top crimps. Here's a Golem. I cannot remember if there are Golem makers even in this deck anymore, but I haven't taken the tokens out. We got the Myrs, as promised, 4 Myrs for the Battlesphere. That's the least crimped. That one's next. Also crimped. And the 4th one. Alright. Got a bottom crimp here on the Kithkin Soldier. A little bit diagonal there, as you can tell. This goat is an interesting crimp. I have not seen crimps like this before. It is not all the way across. It is only that little patch. Well, it sort of goes, but it's more exaggerated and pronounced right in that corner right there, which is really interesting. And the Pentavite to bring us home. Deeply crimped, diagonally crimped, to match up with its token maker crimp as well. And those are the tokens. Thanks for watching CMDR decks. Please subscribe and favorite.